It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Crowd is set again. Oh, John, boom. Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon Ross St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good feel-good Friday morning to you. It is the 24th day of February, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well, from Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports and Network. Add.com to that to find our website. Find us individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we this morning? Rise and shine. How's everybody feeling? What's going on over there?
Could we be any better? I don't
know. I couldn't.
When I got home, the Red Wings were in a playoff spot. I do not know if they are currently.
They are.
Oh, it's beautiful. What a Friday.
Bing bong.
I mean, what a night last night. Pistons play a competitive game and lose.
What a beautiful loss. Fantastic.
Just a great loss.
Literally 0.2 seconds left on the clock. You lost. Great job.
Way to lose. I mean, that's exactly what we needed. We're worried about the draft pick. We do not care about wins anymore. We're here for good-looking games on the surface that end up with an L in that column. The Red Wings blow the doors off of the New York Rangers, and had they not turned the puck over basically in their own zone, it probably would have been a 4-0 shutout. Just saying. Whatever. Michigan got in a rock fight with Rutgers and won in stunning fashion, somehow by 13. Paris Reed Jr. blocking shots off the backboard again. Oh, could you ask for anything else?
So ugly.
It was so beautiful.
Like, if you're a Michigan fan, yeah, you're like, this is the exact game we needed. If you're a neutral party, you're just sitting there like, why am I still watching this?
If you were a neutral fan, you're probably like, wow, I can't wait for Netflix to drop the documentary on offense in 2023 and how both teams were just so stellar defensively that's why we had such a low-scoring affair. How about that? What a night in sports last night. Oh, my goodness. It was great. It was great all around. Everybody's a winner. That was, for us not having anything Wednesday, that really, really picked up the slack and makes for a fun program today. But it is I'm looking forward to it. Is it true that the most interesting man in the world, Johnny Kane, will be joining us?
He will. I was shocked.
He's not even back in the States.
No,
bro.
he is. He worked the studio last night.
Wow.
That's what I got in and I was looking at the graphic sheet and it said Johnny Kane and Grant Long, and I was like, why wouldn't Johnny just fly into Florida and do the game? But his layover was in Orlando yesterday morning.
Wow, that's great.
He made it for the show. Like he came with the suitcase from his trip that had his suit ready to go.
Wow. Have we
didn't
decided?
even he was in the, it was like halftime, and his neighbor texted him to let him know his power was out. So he went home to no power.
Jeez. Welcome back. A very important question here. Have we decided what we are going to use for his intro music? Will it be the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world? Will it be the Narcos theme? Will it be the James Bond theme?
Literally, I was thinking the James Bond theme is
Where in
perfect
the
for
world
Johnny.
is Carmen Sandiego?
Will it be that theme? That was a great game to play on the computer as a kid when you had to use, not only did you have the floppy disk, but then you had the other one too. What was the other one that wasn't a floppy disk that was bigger? You know, it was like the jumbo floppy.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
We had
know
like the
what
little hard disk that was like was it an 8.5-inch floppy? Is that what it was referred to? Why do I have that number? Why is that 8.5 in my head?
8.5. I don't know. That's.
I mean, 8.5. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean this show. I mean, you can't say anything. Can't do anything around here. Unbelievable, you guys. Yeah, I just forget what but you know what the bigger disc I'm talking about is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was just like
It might have been like 1/4-inch floppy, something like that.
ooh, man, I'm gonna have to look up 90s computer terminology to see if I can't find out.
Just
Memory
don't type in
unlocked.
8.5 floppy into your search.
Bing bong.
6:07 in the morning, folks. We are ripping and roaring. When are you guys ever gonna grow up? Probably never. Don't want to grow up. Want to stay young forever. That's my goal.
I'm a Toys R Us kid. I don't want to ever grow up.
That's right. Oh man, what hey, good news. Aaron Rodgers came out of his cave. Aaron Rodgers, who
He
paid.
didn't come out.
It was a Hobbit-like hut. Okay?
It was a hotel room.
Was it really?
It was a little like shack, 300 square foot shack with power, queen size bed, a window, and a meditating area.
Wow.
Yeah, it was only dark
and you
if
could
he wanted
leave.
it. It was only dark if he wanted it to be dark. Like, he could turn the lights on in case of an emergency.
I heard that he was scheduled for 4 days and only lasted 2.
I mean, yeah. Do I want $60 million? Yes. Okay, leave.
You flew out to Oregon for that. Can you imagine getting vacation time and signing up to do something like that in the Pacific Northwest? I can't. Maybe go to like Calgary, maybe go to Vancouver, maybe check out Portland, Oregon. Maybe I'm sure there's some like awesome tree resort somewhere like up in the forest. I'm sure there's something cool to do. Going into some sort of Hobbit-like hut, as it was just described on this program. If you don't know what a Hobbit is, check out Lord of the Rings. To go hide out in solitary confinement for 4 days, that's not relaxing to me. There's nothing, especially if I have that much money. If I have that much
Sound
money,
like you just wanted to take some organic things and then sleep for 2 straight days.
right, just drop acid, be like, oh, whatever. Like, here's some shrooms, eat these in the darkness. You feel like clowns are coming out of the wall or something. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I would not do it. I don't know. If you had a 4-day retreat, where would you choose for your 4-day retreat to be? I mean, remember, you have Aaron Rodgers money, and you can go on a 4-day retreat. At this point, outer space is not off the table with the amount of money that you have. So where exactly would you like to go? A 4-day retreat. I'm going to go probably. Where would you go? I want to hear where you guys would go first. Because you are
like are we talking an actual
you need a vacation, Dan.
the
When's last
Glass
time you had
Onion
a vacation?
Island?
The Glass Onion Island, which I don't think is I do think it's actually real. I don't know if you'll meet Daniel Craig and company. Hopefully nobody gets murdered while you're there, but if so, hope you can solve the case. So you want to go to the Glass Onion Island. Ryan, where would you go? You have Aaron Rodgers money. You get a 4-day retreat all by yourself.
The moon.
To the moon.
They're doing those trips still, right?
I think so. SpaceX
Yeah,
or
let's
something.
do it.
Okay. Fly him to the moon. He wants to go to outer space. All right. I can dig it. I'm probably either going to go to Cartagena. And Cartagena is in Colombia, or I'm going to go, it's a little ocean town, or I'm going to go to Sicily. That's probably where I'm going to choose to go with Aaron Rodgers' money and a 4-day vacation. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Garter. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Garter. Will have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Garter. BeanGarter.com.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dannon Light and Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Big White Beats.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports and Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Big day across the sports landscape for all of us. For the fact that we didn't have anything going on Wednesday, we actually did have a very nice night on a Thursday for us to be able to good variety yesterday. And depending on where you started, we're going to talk about all of them. We're going to talk about the Pistons. We're going to talk about the Red Wings. We're going to talk about Michigan. We got it all covered. We're going to start here in this hour talking a lot of Detroit Red Wings hockey. Obviously, we'll talk about the game last night, and then we'll have our conversation with Ryan Hanna coming up at 6:35. But all in all, from the Red Wings, I thought that was obviously a very meaningful game. Establish a lead early, not give up an early goal, add to the lead, and expand on that in the second period, and then close it out in the third. I just thought that was such a good win there. And I want to go back to Rasmussen, who already had an assist in the game, picked up his 10th goal of the season, because this was a good goal, like a good goal. This wasn't like a one-on-one sort of, I beat you because I'm overly skilled. This was just a little bit of extra effort. Let's make sure that we charge the net. Let's look for an opportunity. Let's capitalize.
Yeah. Lewis got it. Here's Perron. Save made by Alexis. Rasmussen from Perron.
Shots coming in. I'm diving at the net, but I'm on the outside of it near the red line. I got to reposition myself, get back to getting in front of the net, and wait for the opportunity if it arrives off the rebound. I don't know. I really like that a lot. And this was a game in which the Red Wings collectively as a team passed the puck very, very well, because as Perron had made the shot and New York's goalie makes the save and pushes it towards the goal's left side, it's right back to Perron. He's right back to Rasmussen. Boom. I thought the passing last night, they seem like they're either figuring it out or they feel like a little bit of a different team. And I'm not sure what that is, but they've just, over the course of this little miniature run that they are on, 2 in a row, 7 out of 8, that's pretty impressive here. I don't care who you are and who's been on the docket. I know that the schedule hasn't been, Boston and no, I was going to say Edmonton. Why I was going to say Edmonton, I don't know. But they haven't played like Boston and Carolina and Tampa Bay. All right, they've had the Vancouvers and the Calgarys, things of that nature. But hey, look, your plays on the schedule, win the games. Win the games that are on your schedule. Like that's all we can ask of you right now. And the Detroit Red Wings last night played themselves in with 57 games played in 3 games in hand to the Florida Panthers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Detroit Red Wings in the standings for the Eastern Conference have the number 2 next to their name, as in wild card number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the Detroit Red Wings are just 3 points behind the New York Islanders for wild card number 1. And they have 4 games in hand. The Islanders have played 61. The Red Wings have played 57. How good does this look right now? Now, if they were going to try to make a push for, some of that divisional stuff, they got, some more ground to make up here, because they're a few wins behind. You're talking about trailing by 10 to 12 points. But, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I'll just stick with the wild card for right now. To this point, 57 games played. You got, 25 games left, 23 games left? What's my math doing? 25? You're playing meaningful hockey. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished for the Detroit Red Wings and Derek Lalonde. They got to a point to where here we are, second half of the season. They've done it.
The crazy thing is, like,
it's nuts.
They had a really bad 25 game stretch there. They came out hot first 25 games, the next 25 not so great, and then here we are the last 10, and it's been like, holy cow.
It really has been. They have turned it on. I mean, you think about 7 out of 8. They're only lost to the Seattle Kraken. That's incredible.
I wasn't working. I was working the Pistons. Did Larkin didn't get suspended for that cross-check the other day, did he?
No, he was playing. He was actually credited being a good guy because during first period, one of the Rangers lost their blade on their skate, and Larkin helped him up and skated him over to his other Ranger teammates.
Because that's who Dylan Larkin is. He didn't mean to cross-check.
Oh, he definitely did not. He felt terrible.
I mean,
I saw
went down to check out.
On Twitter there was another cross-check like that during another game.
The wing-wheeled pod.
Where that player only got a 2-minute penalty.
2 minutes. That's it. But Dylan Larkin got kicked from the game because that's exactly. I mean, that's the Detroit versus everybody. And the thing about it is, with that cross-checking penalty that led to a misconduct, that's not who Dylan Larkin is. This is why you can't have robo officials. Like the Wing Wheel podcast said, 5-minute cross-checking major plus game misconduct plus maximum allowable fine. And video 2 is from the Rangers, and it says 2-minute cross-checking minor. Like, you have to take into consideration who Dylan Larkin is as a player when you are looking at how you are going to penalize somebody. He is not a cheap shot artist. He's a good guy in the league. He's a little physical when necessary. He's not afraid to stick up for his team. None of those are bad things, right? It's just who Dylan Larkin is. He is a good guy in the league. Game misconduct because he ran into somebody. It's ridiculous. It still won the game. It doesn't matter if the league is trying to cheat us. Right? It doesn't matter. Still got the dub. The other thing that they're doing really well, what's a common theme here in their wins? 1, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1. Those are all the goals against that they have surrendered throughout their winning 7 out of 8 games. Like, that's it. 1, 2 goals. You had the outlier that was that Oilers trip, but it's Edmonton. They got they got guys that have double the career points of our best players. So it's bound to happen when you play some high-fired offense with the Edmonton Oilers. But outside of that, this is what happens when you limit other teams from scoring. They haven't really been giving up those early goals. They've been doing a good job of building on leads. Special teams been a little bit better. Just small incremental improvements across the board have led this team to playing a really good hockey game against the New York Rangers last night. And how about Joe Louis Arena? Was that place just booming or what? Was that place
you
packed?
mean Little Caesars Arena?
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, I'm stuck in the past. How great was the slice?
Yeah, the dojo, as I call it. They double home games tomorrow. Red Wings at noon. No, Pistons at noon. Red Wings at 8 p.m.
Wow.
Tomorrow at LCA.
Oh, boy.
If you got all day, why not?
That's a good idea. Make the ice a little shoddy there when you bring in Tampa Bay. I think that's a great plan. Maybe the ice, maybe it's a little warmer in the building. The ice isn't as great. Maybe isolate some of that and neutralize some of that Tampa Bay speed. How about that? I think it's brilliant. Whose plan was this? It all started with I think, though, the tone setter was the first goal of the game just because it was, 0-0 the first period. And we saw 2 really good passes, the saucer pass over the top, and then one more pass that led to the first goal. It was beautiful. All right, we're going to step aside. Speaking of the Red Wings, we talked to Brian Hanna. We're going to play that for you next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Do it for the love of money. Saturdays in February, 7 to 11 p.m. Winners choose $3,000 in premium play, $1,500 cash, or 1,500 entries into the February 25th drawing for a Chevy Camaro ZL1. For the love of money, $130,000 giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light and Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
estaban esperando.
Wow. Dan, I haven't heard this one in a while. Trying to get me all juiced up because you know we're talking Red Wings. That's what it is. I know you're trying to get me fired up right now. Danny Gahler, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you here on X's and Bros. Time now to open up that Meijer Supercenter guest line. Welcome to the show for the Wing Wheel Pod, our good friend Ryan Hanna. Ryan, my man, good morning to you. How are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's good. Watching some exciting Red Wings hockey for the first time in years, so I'm not going to complain.
Hey, life is good, right? I mean, these are all good things. And I do have to ask you, when we're looking at this team, Ryan, what is the main change that you see from this team last year under Jeff Blashill to this year under Derek Lalonde? And is that more of a structural change for the Wings, in your opinion, or is this more of a personnel change because of what Steve Yzerman was able to do in adding some guys in the offseason going into this year?
Well, you have to look at it as a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B situation. First and foremost, you've got to give credit to Derek Lalonde, what he was able to do with the structure of this team. He knows what he's working with, and regardless of the fact that he doesn't have, elite NHL superstars, he has his team playing responsible hockey, the kind of hockey that wins you games, even if you don't always have the best players on paper, and essentially preparing the team for when they are better equipped to be more serious cup competitors. But the real bulk of the answer here is the personnel. Ville Husso, for most of the season, has been playing at least above average, sometimes, phenomenal hockey where he's been stealing games in net, and at worst, I think he's been average. So that goaltending situation is better for them. They have way more depth and support. Again, I said they don't have a ton of elite guys, but they have a lot of really good guys, and they filled up the lineup. So that last win against Washington, their depth, their third and fourth lines were better than theirs. The roster still has holes, but it's, I think, better than what Jeff Blashill had to work with in the past.
Wow. So maybe a little combo of the two. It's still trying to find the right ingredients to get this thing cooking in the right direction. Some of the news yesterday that maybe came as a little bit of a shock to some people is Jacob Vrana, who was moved down to, sent down. And how does this affect what his availability and eligibility with the Red Wings will be moving forward? Why did they send him down?
Well, it's a complicated situation with Vrana. Obviously, folks will know that he entered the player assistance program earlier this season, and honestly, I want to say first and foremost, massive credit to him for being able to come back from that and get even a game again in the winged wheel. So again, it's kind of what I alluded to before. It's a very full lineup, especially at forward. That group's been a winning group. Vrana probably didn't get as many games in as he thought he might when he initially got called up, just because they were on a 5-game win streak. They're at a point now, because they're getting healthier, Lucas Raymond is returning, where they're going to have to make a tough decision on who stays and who goes. Jacob Vrana was sent down, at least on paper, because he is not, he doesn't have to go through waivers. He has cleared waivers recently, and because of some complicated rules that I won't bore you with, he can pass freely between the NHL and the AHL for a period of time. And there's still options here. Vrana could be called up. He could be sent down and have it be a paper transaction only, so that, he stays with the team and they could still stick him in the roster. Maybe it's the first injury that happens, and, the Red Wings have been very lucky on forward recently. They're probably due. Fingers crossed, but, it's the NHL. There's a lot of different ways Vrana could slot back up. He has a long way to go before being fully NHL game ready. He missed a lot of time, which is why you're seeing someone with his talent maybe be in such a peculiar situation. It's really complicated, and I'm just happy that he was able to get at least the game in.
Do you think that at some point in this season, that Jacob Vrana, do you think that we will see him anywhere near where we saw him last year, where it was like, wow, this guy is going to be a really nice piece for this team?
You know what? I wouldn't hold him to that standard. I would love for that to be the case, and I would love to sit here and give you a pie-in-the-sky situation. But the reality is, for someone to have gone through what he's gone through and miss all of that hockey and not be keeping up in game shape, it gets you. Like if you look at Tyler Bertuzzi when he initially came back from, and then came back twice actually because he broke both hands this season, he looked out of sorts. It is really hard to miss hockey at an NHL level and be up to speed. Not to mention, anything else that Verona is going through, which until you know as a fact is irresponsible to speculate on. I think the details. I just don't think all the ingredients are there for him to be Jacob Verona of old. I would love to sound stupid and have that all be wrong, and in a couple of weeks we see him scoring 20 goals. But I just think for now it's the baby steps for Verona.
He's Ryan Hanna. You can find him on Twitter at Ryan Hanna WWP for the Wingfield Podcast. If you're not following him already, I don't know what you're doing with your life because it's great Red Wings coverage 24/7, 365. That's what we like, Ryan. You brought up Bert. Let's get to it. I mean, what an unfortunate. You talk about breaking your hands like that. This is such a game that, as much as we talk about skating, you got to be good with your hands. Both of them, bro, coming in looking out of sorts. Definitely not the Tyler Bertuzzi that we thought we were going to get this year. What does this organization do with him now? Moving forward, it was like, hey, he's going to be on the block, and maybe he's off the trade block. Maybe Stevie Y is trying to play like some Patriot games there with the rest of the GMs across the league as we can try to start talking a little bit about a playoff push. We'll get to that momentarily. But what do the Wings do with Tyler Bertuzzi?
Well, he's made it interesting. Like you said, he did, like, both of his hands are broken at different points, and he, like I mentioned earlier, he looked a little bit out of sorts coming back. But you know what? During the All-Star break, it was reported that he stayed in Detroit to work on his game, and, man, has it really paid dividends. He has looked, over the last 5 or so games, or however many it's been, he's looked like Tyler Bertuzzi of old. He is getting into the dirty areas. He is creating plays out of nothing. He's winning board battles. He's elevating his, high-level teammates around him. He obviously plays really well with Dylan Larkin. You're starting to see Tyler Bertuzzi play playoff-style hockey. And it's made for a complicated decision because, yeah, he's doing the kind of thing that can get you a really good return in a trade at the deadline from teams that want to be competitive. And no doubt that Steve Yzerman's been talking with any GM who's interested, and that list is long. But he's also been a big part of winning games. Tyler Bertuzzi is also immensely popular in the dressing room. He's immensely popular with fans. He plays a style of hockey that is hard to find at a high level in the NHL. So Steve Yzerman and Elliot Friedman on Hockey Night in Canada reported that Steve Yzerman is, for now at least, pulling him off the block while the Red Wings are waiting to give the team a chance. And that's valid. Like, that's what's happened here. What did the Red Wings do? I personally think if they can keep him through the deadline, I have no problem with that at all, like passing up on that trade return. I would hope that there's a possibility that he will sign another contract with the Red Wings. But there is some merit to, if you're not getting a good enough trade offer for him, he's better served to give your team a chance for this playoff push, because ultimately that's what Yzerman will prioritize. Is if the Red Wings can make the playoffs, he's going to give them that shot.
You think that Steve Yzerman just lies to other GMs? Like, oh, he's playing really well. We're just looking for the future. You think he just picks up the phone and just straight lies out of the side of his mouth?
Well, I mean, it's probably not as much as people think. The general managers it's a very close-knit group. And yes, they're all competing, but they know that even if they, fleece each other in a trade, they have to see each other at the next GM meeting or whatever it might be, or they're still going to probably have to deal with that GM in the future. So I don't think he lies so much, but he definitely probably sells as well as any other GM does. Thing is, he doesn't have to for Tyler. Tyler's game sells itself. One of my theories about pulling Bertuzzi off the block is it serves Steve Yzerman two ways. One, yeah, if he wants to keep him, then obviously that's the case. But two, it drives up value, it drives up demand, it drives up interest. You ever wanted something that was in stock and you never bought it, and then all of a sudden you're kicking yourself because it's out of stock and you just wait for it to come back in, and the moment it's in stock again, you pay full price? That could be what's happening here.
You might even pay more than full price now that it's back because you wanted it so bad and you were mad you didn't do it the first time. I've been accustomed. I'm a sucker for doing that, right? I get that 110%. What to you, Ryan, throughout the course of the season, it's been kind of a little bit of a roller coaster, right? Because we started off the year And, they were getting points in like every game. I mean, the first 5 games they were able to secure some points, and it was like, okay, all right, this is pretty good. And, they were looking, they were putting together 2 and 3 game little win streaks. And then all of a sudden we started to see this team kind of do what they've been doing in the past, which is lose 4 in a row, win 4 in a row, lose 3, win 2, and then get on those big 5 and 6 game losing streaks where it's like, dude, you just cannot do that in the NHL. What seems to be the difference of late? Is this strictly because they're playing teams of, obviously Seattle is in playoff contention. The Edmonton win is a really nice win, but Calgary, Vancouver, somewhat similar teams from a personnel standpoint. Washington without Ovi obviously is a different team. What have you seen as far as a change in this club now that we're in the second half of the season? What seems to be the biggest difference?
Well, like you said, the schedule hasn't been the strongest, but at the same time, we've seen the Red Wings in previous years where they've lost those games too. So you have to give them credit for at least pulling out those points. And the goaltending has been there. I think there's been one bad goaltending game with Husso not having his best one against Seattle. So the goaltending has really been there. And the offense, that's been the biggest thing, is they've been scoring. The offense has been clicking in a really good way. Post-trade deadline, I mean, there's a stretch there where they scored an average of 5 goals a game across, 4 games, Vancouver twice, Edmonton and Calgary. The offense has been clicking. It's not just been all Dylan Larkin. Their depth has been really kind of meshing together well. And then, they step up and grind out games where the situations aren't exactly ideal for them. Magnus Hellberg gave away the puck on a power play, and they got scored on against Calgary, but he was perfect thereafter. Dylan Larkin got tossed from a game, and then Pius Suter came up with 2 huge unassisted goals. The offense has been clicking in such a way where that combination of not the best teams that they were playing and also a good goaltending behind them, they were able to scrape out 6 of their last 7 wins.
You got to be kind of proud of me, Ryan, how long I held off on this next question. But you said it. You said the D word, so let's get to it. Dylan Larkin, what do we do with Captain? Oh, my Captain, what should they do? I mean, $8 million a year over 8 years. I'm not really I think, okay, that's fine. He wants to look into the $9 million range. All right. We're used to NBA and MLB and NFL contracts where the salary cap number is so much higher that in the NHL finds themselves in a similar roster to Major League Baseball, less than the NFL, more than the NBA, but less money overall that's able to be dispersed. Now, we have seen growth in the game. The ESPN contract has been great for the league and for exposure to the league. TNT, the same way. I thought that was the best move ever, getting off NBC, getting on those 2 networks. Them trading nights is great. You have this influx into the salary cap that his number today and what that means to the salary cap today, 3-4 years from now, well, it's not gonna mean the same. It's gonna be less when you look at the overall cap structure here. How do you feel about 8 years to 9 years, or 8 years, pardon me, between 8 and 9 million per year? That's where they kind of seem like we're floating around. Are you comfortable with that? Is he good enough for that?
Yeah, that's about the range. I think between 8 and 9 million. If I had to guess, I would say probably 8.5 to 8.75, in and around there, give or take. Am I comfortable with that? Yeah, I think so. You look at Dylan Larkin's production. If you just look at his counting stats, goals, assists, points, maybe he's not in that upper echelon of players who automatically get 9 million plus. But he has all the leverage here in terms of he plays a position of need. He's the Red Wings' number 1 centerman. They have no other options at center. He has a full no-trade clause, so he controls whether or not he can be moved before the deadline, and I don't think the Red Wings are keen on moving him. And he's an unrestricted free agent. It's fully up to him in terms of that leverage. Now, Steve Yzerman has shown time and time again that he flies in the face of your leverage, and he's willing to hold it out to the very bitter end. We saw what he did with Steven Stamkos in Tampa Bay. I think what the ask was from Larkin's camp as an initial, you start with your highest bid kind of thing, or your highest offer, was around Matt Barzal's number or even higher. So, north of $9 million. If they can settle in the 8 times $8.5 million, that's about the range. Even if Larkin doesn't produce some other players in that range in terms of counting stats, one, look at the hockey he's been playing lately. It's a contract year, yeah, but you have to give him credit. And two, like you mentioned very smartly there, the cap is going to go up. The hurt isn't going to be there so much. But Yzerman does this with his big contracts, with his important contracts. He makes sure he gets them in at the right price. It's not this isn't unique to Dylan Larkin. If he gets him in anywhere, under 8.5, I think that's a steal in my mind.
Ryan Hanna, I would love to do this again very soon, man. This is it's better than your Twitter, and your Twitter's good, man. I love following you there for Red Wings coverage, and just getting you on the phone to be able to have this conversation is fabulous. So thank you for that. And I know that I'm gonna definitely Dan's gonna be texting you probably in the middle of the night sometime, be like, hey, you want to come on the show tomorrow? But just in case, I gotta ask you this: 62 points on the season, 56 games played. That is, 5 games less than where the Islanders are at right now at 61 games played and 67 points. We're there. The playoff push is legitimate. It's a real conversation. Florida, that second wild card spot, 60 games played, 64 total points. Like, you have games in hand to the teams that are in front of you. Do you think that this Red Wings team is good enough to make the playoffs this year?
Oh, they're good enough to make the playoffs. Yeah, based on the mix of the teams around them and based on the facts, Islanders, Florida, Pittsburgh, Washington, Buffalo, throw Ottawa in if you want. Those are all teams who are within range for Detroit. So are they good enough? Yes. And that's something that, I'm surprised by personally at this point in this season. So they've bootstrapped themselves into the mix for sure.
It's a beautiful thing. His name is Ryan Hanna. Find him on Twitter at Ryan Hanna WWP for the Winged Wheel Podcast. You can find them at Winged Wheel Pod on Twitter as well, wingedwheelpodcast.com. Ryan, my friend, thank you so much for your time today, partner. We greatly appreciate it, and have a great weekend, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to do it again.
Fantastic. There he is, Ryan Hanna. I'm telling you. Always great to catch up with Ryan Hanna, the Winged Wheel Podcast. If you didn't see from yesterday with the side-by-side video clips of Dylan Larkin's cross-check versus the cross-check that we saw last night, it's worth to check it out. That much is for sure. Like, give it a look. That's all I'm asking you to. They do a great job. He does a great job of covering the Red Wings. So if you're not following him already, I really suggest that you do. It's Ryan Hanna, HANA WWP, as in Winged Wheel Pod. That's how you find him on Twitter. He is an exquisite Detroit Red Wings follow there. So we had that conversation with him. Wanted to be able to get it to our earlier audience from yesterday. We'll step aside. When we return, you know how I feel about James Harden. You know I'm not a fan of him. I didn't like him in Houston. I think his game was bad for the NBA, bad for the game of basketball. All of that. Going to Brooklyn for the super team, he's never won anything in his life. He's never going to win anything there. Going to Philly, good luck. James Harden won me over this week. Nothing to do with basketball. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Michigan versus Rutgers. We've got Pistons talk coming up with Johnny Kane, the most interesting man in the world, plus my buddy Joe from Outkick. All of that and more right here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dannon Light and Fit, or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean-Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Garter. BEENEGARTER.com.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Meter's broken. You win parking.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live over on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. That's always fun. You can add a .com to that to find us online, MichiganSportsNetwork.com. You can also find us all individually on Twitter as well. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AAC Bellino. What is going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news, folks. In case you were interested, Manchester United in the Europa League knockout round playoffs. 2-1 winners yesterday for Barcelona. Aggregate score 4-3. Man U moves on. Big time dub there. Big time dub for the Red Devils. All right, all-pro linebacker Bobby Wagner and the Rams have agreed to part ways after one season together, with the Rams approximately $13.7 million over the cap heading towards a new league year. It's got to get ready to reset the rosters. When Wagner's release becomes official, the Rams are going to save $5 million in salary cap space, also incur a $7.5 million dead money charge. Rams have the option of designating Wagner as a post-June 1st release, which would save them $8 million, though that savings can't be credited to their cap until the summer. So if Wagner had remained on the roster on the fifth day of the 2023 league year, his $7.5 million base salary and $2.5 million roster bonus due in 2024 would have become guaranteed. 32 years old, joined the Rams after signing a 5-year, $50 million deal. $20 million in guarantees on March 31st of 2022. Second team All-Pro honors, 140 tackles, career high 6 sacks, 2 picks, 5 passes defended while starting all 17 games. He was the top linebacker in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus last season, and he was released. Is that crazy or what? That's why, you get, unless it's a quarterback, everybody, I'm one of those people. I see all this money floating around. I see all these numbers, and it's like, well, how much is that contract actually going to be worth? Jeff Bezos has hired a firm to help him consider the Commanders' bid. I don't know why you have to hire a firm for this, but he hired the boutique investment firm Allen & Company, the same company that conducted the sale of the Denver Broncos last year and the Carolina Panthers in 2018. Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, has not yet submitted a bid for the Commanders. They're just, gathering some intel. His net worth, $119 billion, making him the world's third richest person, according to Forbes. Bezos could outbid any other group.
The third richest person that people know how much money they have. Because Vladimir Putin's the richest person on the planet. You just don't know how much money he has.
You think Putin's the richest? You don't think that there's a Saudi prince somewhere, like the guy who just bought the $400 million jet?
I mean, they're up there, but yeah. Those for the people that we know how much money they have, Jeff Bezos is the third richest.
How quickly would the Commanders Stadium turn into an Amazon facility center after he purchases the team and they just build a new stadium?
You have to get your season tickets from the locker at the 7-Eleven.
You get the and no, they're delivered via Prime. I mean, look, if Jeff Bezos wants to buy the Commandos, I mean, why not? Then put all of their games on Amazon Prime on Thursday night, and then we have nothing to worry about. Because I don't want to watch them anyways. So that works out perfect. Aaron Rodgers left the Oregon facility and ended his darkness retreat. I did hear news, and we're going to have to wait until he sits down with his boy Pat McAfee. I did hear some news that he left the Sky Cave retreat early. So he's supposed to be there for 4 nights. I did hear yesterday on the radio while I was driving to Ann Arbor that he only lasted 2 days. Now, Rodgers is 39 years old. He's under contract with the Packers for $59.465 million guaranteed if he plays in 2023. I can't imagine a Packers fan today that's happy with the way that this situation has gone. I think that this has been a tarnishing and a stain on his legacy. That's me personally. Any quarterback that's going to hold your organization hostage. Here, look at Jordan Love. What is he doing? Look at the Jets. What are they doing? What is Derek Carr going to do? Like, this is madness. The Warriors' Steph Curry is going to be reevaluated in 1 week, so we're waiting on his return. Lakers' new acquisition, D'Angelo Russell, sprained his ankle. He's going to be reevaluated tomorrow night. The Bruins have acquired Dmitry Orlov and Garnet Hathaway in a 3-team deal. The rich get richer. That's exactly what they get. In return, the Capitals receive Craig Smith, a 2023 first-rounder, a 24 third-rounder, and a 25 second-round selection. The Minnesota Wild also announced they're going to get a 2023 fifth-rounder and will retain 50% of Orlov's salary. The signing rights to Andrei Svetlikov went to Boston. A lot of activity here. Boston is an NHL best 43-8-5. They have a plus 92 goal differential. They are the best team in the league. They have an opportunity to break the NHL record for most points in a season, and they're active at the deadline. They know what it is. They don't need a first rounder this year. They're going for the cup. Like, that's like plain and simple, and they got to be the odds-on favorite right now to win it all. The Ducks of Anaheim, they handed the Capitals their 6th straight loss. Alexander Ovechkin's return for Washington. They lose 4-2. I feel bad because he lost his father. At the end of the day, you have to, I know Dominik Hasek isn't the biggest fan, and I get it. He's Czech. I understand. There is a human element to this that exists as well. And so for Ovi trying to get back into the swing of things, man, good luck. Michigan's head coach Jim Harbaugh said that Blake Corum is going to miss spring to rehab his knee. I need a more thorough release of injuries and suspensions in college athletics. If you people are getting NIL money, I want a real deal injury report. Don't give me any of this HIPAA crap. All right, we know when somebody sprains an ankle, breaks a foot, has a Lis Frank, an ACL, a bad hip, a separated shoulder, a UCL, a strained neck. We know it all. And that's the one thing that when they start making these changes, like, all right, everybody's an adult here. We're all over 18. They're all grown-ups. If you're suspended from the team, what was the actual cause of the suspension? If you are injured, what is the actual injury? It bothers me so much about college sports. Like, especially now that gambling's legal. Like, come on. Georgia's Jamin Dumas Johnson has been arrested on 2 driving charges. Misdemeanor charges of racing on highway and streets and reckless driving, according to the Athens Clarke County Jail bookings. This happened after the 65-7 victory over TCU in the College Football Playoff National Championship. Happened on January 10th. It is February 24th. So it's not just in Ann Arbor, in Washtenaw County, where the court system works a little slower. Yeah, apparently in Athens, Georgia, it's a little behind, and they're a little slow too. Imagine that. All right, we're going to step aside. When we return, you know I'm not a Harden guy. I don't like the beard. I think he's bad for basketball. James Harden won me over this week. I'll tell you why next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light and Fit, or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean-Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean-Garter. BeanGarter.com.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. It is hour 2 at segment 2, which means it's time for a little Detroit Lions trivia. You know what's coming up? The NFL Combine. Next week, 28th. It's already here. NFL Combine, also known as the Underwear Olympics. All right, here's our trivia question today. What eventual wild card playoff team did the Lions beat 34-30 in Week 13 of the regular season in 2020? The Matt Patricia era of Lions football. Very off the wall, almost damn near impossible game to play. And you're saying what happened here in this at this time, at this date? But that's the question we have today. Who they beat that eventually went into the playoffs in 2020, and they beat them in Week 13?
The New England Patriots.
Everybody's favorite team on the schedule, the Arizona Cardinals. Oh.
Impossible question. I also just like to hit the song. It's the first time I've had to hit the button twice in months. But the actual correct answer is the Chicago Bears.
Oh. I forget that they've made the playoffs recently.
That was that Mitch Trubisky year where he threw like 15 touchdowns in the 2 games against the Lions.
You mean Mitch Trubisky's whole career?
Yeah, was that the year in which we played him in the first week of the season? Yeah, COVID year. And DeAndre Swift dropped that football on the near side.
Yeah.
Right in the end zone. Oh, so then there was a report that the Lions are probably not going to I saw this floating around the internet about the Lions not going to extend DeAndre Swift. They're going to, maximize his usage this year. And no, he's not going to get that's not a surprise to anybody. I don't think. I mean, unless he had like some just absolute dynamite showcase year, but he's never healthy enough. And that's not anybody's fault. Like it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. Do not overpay at running back. Every 2 years, somebody busts onto the scene. I mean, hell, Brian Robinson for the Washington Commanders came back after gunshot wounds. Like, are you kidding me? Do not overpay for that position. Then you look at the inverse of that. Look at that contract Ezekiel Elliott is on. With Tony Pollard doing what he's doing, why would you not move on from Zeke and open up the cap space? I can't seem to figure out for the life of me why they don't do that. Like, just cut him and be done with it. And improve the rest of your roster. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Anyways, all right, so you know me, not a big Harden fan. Not a big fan of the beard. I don't like the way that he plays the game. I don't like all this team jumping all the time. I'm not happy in OKC, so I'm going to go to Houston. I'm not happy there, so I'm going to go to Brooklyn. I'm not happy there, so I'm going to go to Philly. Like, maybe it's not everybody else. Maybe it's you. Maybe. And then this story came out yesterday. Here is Malika Andrews from the NBA Today over on ESPN explaining James Harden not only winning over my heart, but the hearts and minds of all Michiganders.
Last week, a gunman killed 3 people and injured 5 more at Michigan State University, and one of the surviving students is 20-year-old John Howe, and he is a huge fan of James Harden. And according to a GoFundMe page, Howe's injuries, they've left him paralyzed from the chest down. So after reading about his story, James Harden stepped in. He sent sneakers, including one pair that was getting warm, to the hospital for Howe. He contributed to his GoFundMe, set up to alleviate some of the medical bills, and he spent time encouraging the young man.
I don't think you're going to be able to hear the audio very well, but they got the phone in James Howe's hand, and James Harden had FaceTimed him, and I know he's sending gear and whatever. The FaceTime call probably takes all of a couple minutes, but means the absolute world to this young man. And James Harden didn't have to do this. It's not necessary. He said, I got some gifts for you. I've got some things coming your way. Now I have your number. I'd like to stay in contact. Like that to me, I love when you're smiling. I love when you're smiling, all right? So I'm with you. I know it's tough right now, but you have to stay physically strong. You know what I mean? You got to think positive things. Keep pushing and fighting. I've got some things coming your way. Hopefully give you some encouragement, make you smile a little bit. And let me know if you need anything else. I have your number. Let's stay in touch. Like, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and there was also a report that Harden did donate to the GoFundMe for John Howe. So, yeah, for someone that's not affiliated at all to this situation to step in and do what he can, and Dan pointed this out too, and for James Harden and his team to not tweet it out look how good of a person I am.
Yeah, I'm not even really sure how that hit the newswire, but yeah, there was nothing like this big boisterous celebration. It was just James Harden doing it on his own because he got wind of it. And good for him, man. Because he doesn't have to. He can just send some stuff and be done with it, but the phone call to meet your favorite player, I mean, the circumstances obviously are just awful. There's no reason for this young man to have to go the rest of his life like this. No reason. And, for that little moment and for however many moments he'll have moving forward, that, he and James Harden, might quote unquote be connected or whatever the case may be. For that time, it's a really good move by James Harden. And as somebody who's not a fan at all, he just won me over with that right there. You'll not hear me speaking ill of his double step back travels anymore after that video.
You will.
I won't. I won't do it. I will not do it. I will erase all negativity of James Harden from my mind for this, because this is, 5 people are wounded, 3 people are dead, and for literally no reason whatsoever. And is it weird that we're almost 2 weeks removed from the situation, and it just kind of feels like, well, everything else went on. We had an ice storm and lost power. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Last week was a little uncomfortable after it happened. This week has been, we're trying to stick to sports as much as possible. I try to do that every day. Just stick to sports, because I feel like sometimes the conversations are, if they go off the rails on sports, then that's not what we're here for. You can consume that stuff and argue with each other about all kinds of stuff anywhere else you'd like to, but I just try to keep it very sports centric. But it does feel weird when we're just talking about, sports here. It does feel a little bit strange. So this is a very, very nice gesture, and bigger than basketball. This is real life. This is bigger than basketball. I'm fortunate to be in a position where I can make an impact on people's lives. That's what I really care about. That's what I value, and that's what makes me happy. Obviously, other than basketball, family, things like that, it's a tragedy. He wasn't expecting that. There was nothing he could control. That's the craziest part about it. Anything I can do in my part, I'm going to do it. So good for James Harden. Good for the beard, man. Making a difference, even if it's just a couple of small moments. Like that's worth its weight in gold. We'll step aside when we return. There was a rock fight between Michigan and Rutgers last night. Offensive expose. James Naismith would have been proud of the outcome of this basketball game, but Michigan, they're a winner, and they're pushing. We'll get into it. Quadrant 1 win number 3 is what I'm trying to say. Too many big words, not a big deal. Too early in the morning. That's okay. We'll be back to talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI freddythepizzaman.com or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dannon Light and Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get a taste of sweet rewards, up to $5,000 cash. Every Friday in February from 7 to 11 p.m. Play for a chance to take home the chocolate bar with prizes from $1,000 premium play all the way up to $5,000 cash. Don't miss sweet rewards. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
the Michigan Sports Network.
Little throwback there. I like that, Dan. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Or you can call us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. Very, very interesting. I think that I received a LinkedIn request for a one New York Scott.
See,
Yeah.
now does
Is that wild or what? I think New York Scott. Hey, New York Scott. Now I think we're now I can put a face to a name.
Yeah, I always like doing that. Does he resemble what you would think New York Scott was going to look like?
Absolutely not.
Fair.
He doesn't look. I mean, that's not at all. Not a bad thing, but not at all of what I thought. Who New York Scott was. I am shocked. I was like, wow, New York Scott. He looks, how do I phrase this? I pictured New York Scott maybe like, 6 foot, 6'1", and maybe like 150 pounds, kind of gave me that like slim, dart hanging out of his mouth, Yankees curve bill on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was getting like a button down shirt, one of those, the jeans. I was getting one of those. Kind of vibes from him.
I get the vibe he wears a Yankees hat but throws on a Mets jersey. I support both teams.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Wow. I mean, I'm not. Jeez, I wasn't gonna try to poke at the guy. It appears that's the way that we have. That's the way that things have turned here. Which I mean, sure. I guess.
So you're going to hit us with that screen cap of New York Scott?
New York Scott is he looks taller. He looks a little more physically fit, a little more muscular, a little balder than I thought. Kind of looks kind of like Mr. Clean. And New York Scott coming in with hot takes might break your face. Don't know. Like he's giving me now. I'm
really
now, yeah. He's in a it's LinkedIn, so he's very he's got the shirt on with the suit jacket.
Wasn't an old PlayStation game called The Hitman? That's what he looks like.
Yeah, he kind of looks like next time he calls in and somebody's giving him a little trash, New York Scott might put his hands on you. That might be one of those things that we take that in consideration. New York Scott might punch you in the esophagus. You don't know. All right, so last night, speaking of punch in the esophagus, not a lot of scoring in this basketball game except for this guy.
Shoot for Michigan with this lineup.
McConnell got the hand up, and still Buffkin sticks it.
Kobe Buffkin. Oh, here we go in the group chat. Now they're sending the Draft Express, profile videos of Kobe Buffkin. Bunch of haters. And I'm going to make sure that everybody knows.
Aunt Wright has started that movement, if you want to get upset at anyone.
Well, no, I'm upset at this guy because this clown has been dogging Kobe Buffkin since he stepped on the floor. I don't know why they're playing him. He's no good. He can't shoot. He missed this. Oh, shut up. How about that? Let the young man develop. Jeez Louise. But you guys, same guy's going to tell me Imani Bates is the second coming of Christ. Like, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Like, one guy is playing Big Ten basketball, playing for his tournament life. The other guy's got on a 6-win basketball team. Like, they're not even comparable. Get out. Leave. Leave the conversation. Then last night they want to talk about Antoine Davis. Like, look, nothing you could say. Nothing you can say. Yeah, I can say a lot of things. I'm just not going to. Like, congratulations. Did they retire his jersey?
What's dumber? The Cavs agreeing to retire Kevin Love's jersey as part of his buyout, or U of T retiring his jersey the night of his last home game before the season's even over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen it happen before, so I'm not surprised. I saw it at the high school level. So I'm not surprised, but look, nothing you could say. I could say the shot selection is atrocious. I could say that there's a lot of guys that could go to the Horizon League and put up some crazy numbers every night. And they could probably do it more efficiently because that matters. But at the same time, like, kids made a lot of shots. So I guess, whatever. The video that was sent into the chat was just this guy talking about, I love his confidence here, as he chucks an off-balance, leaning 3-ball from 30 feet. Like, love his confidence there? That's what you got to say? Yeah, you're an online hoops savant. Love his confidence. Love his attitude here. Okay, all right. Maybe I'll dig back and find that so I can send it to you. But regardless, it's very, like, I knew that we were in a little bit of trouble with Kobe because and when I say we were in a little bit of trouble with Kobe, I'm talking about the Michigan fan. Kobe's not in any trouble whatsoever. Kobe Buffkin is doing a great job on the defensive side of the basketball. He's getting the toughest guard assignment usually every single night. He has been pretty consistent in double figures.
He's doing too good of a job.
Yeah.
And that's what scares you as a college fan, is like when you see this underclassman doing well, and then you're like, oh, this is going to be great. Then he can be the star next year, and then it keeps going, and it's like, can you pump your brakes here, kid, for like 2 games? Selfishly.
Yeah, and look, they need him. He was 5 of 9 last night from the floor, 2 of 5 from 3, had 14 points, couple of rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, also added a block. The Michigan basketball team goes with 5 blocks last night against Rutgers. They win 58-45, and Kobe's starting to garner a lot of attention across the board. I knew we were in trouble when John Hollinger had a story about Kobe Buffkin. That's when I was like, all right, yep, you people have gone too far. That's what's taking place here. You're getting out of control.
Throw a Price is Right reference in there. That's too much.
That's too much. That's too much. You need to chill out, John Hollinger. Go watch somebody else. What are you looking at Kobe for? Stop looking at him. But I'm happy for him. Obviously, a Grand Rapids kid. He's averaging 13 points on 48% shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists every night. He does it all. And one of the things early on, if we were to wind back the tape here, it was when we were questioning Michigan's heart, right? What kind of team did we have? We weren't getting dirty. We weren't getting on the floor. The very next game, Kobe Buffkin's the first guy diving for a loose ball, setting the tone. It's because he looks friendly. It's because he's quiet. It's because he has a very calm demeanor about him. And the fact that he's very young. He's 19 as a sophomore. He's younger than some of the first-year prospects that'll be in the draft. He's 6'4". He's about 200 pounds, allegedly. I don't know if he's 195 or not. That might be soaking wet with his shoes on. But I could tell you this much. I could tell you that it is this is a very deserving young man. He's a very good person. I want the best for him. I want him to make all the monies. And I want him to stay in Michigan as a 5th-year super senior. Let's go. Never leave. You got to stay here the whole time. Don't even look at the NBA. All right, USDA Scott's on hold. Let's see what kind of flaming hot takes this guy's got. Hello.
What's up, bud?
Well, just my blood pressure. No, I'm teasing.
Hey,
I'm fine. Yeah.
I would say your Wolverines are getting a little bit firmly on the bubble now. Good for them. Could be whiskey and Michigan taking over for Rutgers and Iowa after Rutgers is on a free fall, and after we beat Iowa Saturday, they'll have lost 3 in a row. So.
Whoa! Well, hey, look, Scott. We just got over the win against Rutgers. We've got Wisconsin coming up next, 2:00 on Sunday on CBS. Thank God it's at 2 and not at noon because I got a diaper party Saturday, and I don't know what kind of condition I'm going to be in about 9, 10 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. But I can tell you this much.
Well, that might be a play-in game. You got whiskey on Sunday, huh?
Yeah, Wisconsin on Sunday, then at Illinois and at Indiana to round out the season on the 2nd of March and on the 5th of March. Scott, one game at a time. You're getting way ahead of yourself. You're talking about this is a bubble, this is a play. We're one game at a time here. You know what we got to do? One game, one possession at a time. We got to dig in and get a stop. 0-0 at all times. Let's go, Scott. You're looking too far in the future. We can't focus on that.
Well, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to give you positive reinforcement for your Wolverines, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Is that not?
And
then things are looking up, aren't they, Scott? Huh? Hey, did you enjoy that game on Saturday, by the way?
Yes. Now, that'll disappoint Freddie because Juwan will stay around, but
guy doesn't even watch college basketball, Scott. I don't know how many times he's got to say here on this program that he doesn't watch college basketball. I don't watch college basketball. So,
well, he talks about Juwan.
Well, yeah, because Juwan's a coach at Michigan. I'm surprised he hasn't talked about Carol Hutchins at Michigan, Hutch, Hall of Famer in the softball program. I'm surprised he hasn't talked about, hockey, whoever that, or field hockey, or lacrosse, or whomever else.
To know Freddie is to love Freddie. Hey, and the Red Wings look great.
Dynamite.
Huh?
I said dynamite.
Oh yeah, and then I just wanted to comment on something too. We everybody's talked about the Michigan State thing for a couple weeks here now, and unfortunately, you know what happens when we have ice storms and everything. And I'm in the food business. What do you think I'm out doing today because we got late deliveries?
I mean, you're lucky that you got late deliveries. We got a store with no power.
Oh wow! I'm sorry.
I'll take a late delivery any day of the week. That store no power.
No, I mean we were getting late trucks in, so I'm bringing food around the state today. So
what kind of truck are you driving in right now? What do you when you say you're driving around? What exactly?
I just have the company panel van today, but I got about 3,800 pounds on this thing, and I got a hand take it off. So I'm working today. I'm working, man, today.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of drivers that when they pull up, if it's their first time, and they open up the back of that 18-wheeler, and they have those little, like, hand things that they can move the pallets around with. And, like, hey, you guys got a forklift? And you look over at the side of the building, like, do you see a door here that could fit a forklift? A forklift? No, put this on this two-wheeler right here. Let's go. What are we talking about forklifts for? We do everything by hand at Danny's Fine Food, like Scott.
We even have some that the freezer or the refrigeration is down in their basement, so my drivers have to wheel it down the stairs. But they get hazard pay for that. But anyway,
do they really?
The thing I was saying that I had to get going so early this morning. This is the fourth time I saw this guy in my town riding his bicycle. We are what, a day away from ice storms and everything else. He's riding his bicycle down the middle of the street. Probably the fourth time I've seen this guy doing this. If I've seen him 4 times, I know the police have seen him. These are the people that we need to check this guy out because Kane killed Abel. The knife didn't kill Abel. And
are you trying to assume that a guy riding a bicycle? What are you trying to say here, Scott? I'm trying to reel you back in here. You're getting a little loose on me here.
Find the crazy. It's the people that are crazy.
It was 50 degrees yesterday. It was 50 and sunny. We had a little bit of wind, but yeah, I mean it's the southeast portion of the state. Like it was fine yesterday.
Oh no, we never got above 36 over by us.
Really?
Yeah, it's still we still got some iced over roads by us, but we didn't get as heavy ice and all the power outages that they got lower state, middle state, and over by you.
Yeah, a lot of counties: Lenawee County, Monroe County, Washtenaw County. Yeah, a lot of power outages. Well, here's a plan, Scott. Grab the guy in the bike, throw his bike in your panel van, throw him in the passenger seat. Say, hey, look, I'll give you a ride, but we got to get all 3,900 pounds off of this van here first. So then I'll drop you off when we're done. Here's a little cash, little tip for Eddie. There you go. Now you got yourself an employee.
That, and I've done that before. When I'm in the food business, so I go deep downtown. I go in the East Market and everything. Used to Eastern Market, and guys would ask me for money. I say, hey, help me out today. I'll pay you. And I'll buy you dinner, but I'm not going to just give you money.
There you go. I like that, Scott. Yeah, dude, look, I'm about to pull over right here. We're about to unload this truck.
I like helping anybody, but I'm not just giving people money.
Hey, no handouts here.
Well, I'd hand out to who does it. Well, if you're willing to work, I'll hand you out. All right, buddy. Hey, you guys have a great weekend.
All right, drive safe. Go Blue. Oh, he didn't say it back. Can you believe that?
Dan hung up on him, so we don't know if he did say it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no. Scott said go Blue. We heard it. All right, let's get to Freddie, who is on hold, who wants to talk about who else but his favorite guy, Jim Harbaugh. What's up, Freddie? Good morning.
Dan hangs up on all the callers. Have you noticed that?
That's just how he is. He's just like, I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah, done, click.
Done.
Hey, Steakum Scott. You know that food they used to make, Steakum? I think they still make them. Steakum Scott.
What the hell is Steakum?
Yeah,
You never heard of Steakums?
No.
How are you?
Steakums?
Really?
What is Steakums?
Anthony, how do you work in how does your family own and operate a grocery store? You've never heard of Steakum?
What is steak? Well, what is it? Can somebody explain what it is? It's like Spam?
It's like basically what it's like pre-made Philly cheesesteak meat, kind of.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not selling that. I don't know what kind of grocery store you think we are. We're not selling steak.
It's thinly sliced ribeye is what it is, but it's
we have that. We have in the counter. We have thinly sliced. We have shaved prime rib in the counter. You know what it's called? Shaved prime rib. That's Steakum.
This is an imitation.
Oh yeah, cat meat.
Yeah, but he was like all over the place today. I think Juwan Howard's in your head, buddy. As a Michigan State fan, you should hope Juwan Howard stays around, if you ask me. But I could care less about either basketball team, if you ask me. But good try there. Listen, I gotta say one thing about Jim Harbaugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta give him kudos. I gotta give him kudos, man. Did you read the article? He stopped and helped the police officer move a big tree the other day during the big storm.
Yeah, he did. I have the video of it. He stopped and he saw the cops were out there trying to get this tree out of the road, and that's just who Jim Harbaugh is. Like I'm sure he probably had some Steakum to go with a gallon of vitamin D milk ready to ride. Probably offered the officer.
Do you remember his opening presser when he first took the job in Michigan? What happened when he was driving to Michigan that day for his opening presser? Do you remember that day?
When he was driving? No, I don't remember what happened when he was driving.
A car was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Help the people.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got to give him kudos, man. I'm surprised you didn't say nothing. I mean, your coach, your school, you didn't say anything about it. So I wanted to call and give him props for a job well done.
I like the fact that he was in a flannel and a Carhartt flannel and a hat. You know, he's a regular dude. He's a little quirky, but he's a regular guy,
he's always in the hat.
And his players have always said it as well. They really enjoy him, and I really enjoy him too. He might be a little quirky, might be a little off to some people, but he's a regular guy. So that's my coach. Dan tried to make it out like, oh, he's anywhere with a camera, but no, it's just police footage. That's all it is. Dan tried to throw him under the bus earlier, but that's okay.
I didn't. I was just teasing him.
Don't tease.
Just every time there's a cop around, he's around to help.
That's good.
AB, last thing before you cut me off. Yesterday, a guy from Cleveland, a lot of people DM me all the time for stuff and information. Where's the best butcher shop in Michigan? I sent him right to you, buddy. Danny's Fine Foods. I said, make sure you ask for Anthony. And you tell him the pizza man sent you. He'll take care of you.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you, Freddie.
See you, buddy.
All right, we'll look for Michael in Cleveland. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Anthony Bellino.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a new day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. It's week 16 of the college hoops season, and Houston is back at number 1 with Bama falling to 2, followed by UCLA, Kansas, and Purdue rounding out the top 5. The Boilermakers are just one of 3 Big Ten teams ranked in this week's poll, with the Indiana Hoosiers coming in at 17 prior to the loss at MSU on Tuesday, and then one of the most shocking teams in the country, Northwestern, Northwestern at number 22. The Wildcats are seemingly a decent once every couple of years, but Chris Collins has his club rolling right now. They've won 5 straight and beat both of those ranked opponents in front of them in back-to-back contests. Over in the MAC, it's the Toledo Rockets atop the conference with 3 games remaining, riding an incredible school record 12 consecutive conference victories after beating 4th place Akron on Tuesday. 2nd place Kent State does own the head-to-head tiebreak against the Rockets, but lost on Tuesday night to 3rd place Ball State.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dannon Light and Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Garter. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanEnerGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Garter. BeanGarter.com.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to
Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kane Walker! Touchdown! Spotty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown to Kurt Myers! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Friday morning to you. It is the 24th day of February 2023. We welcome you to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Kaye, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. All across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide via the iHeartRadio app and the Michigan Sports Network YouTube page. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio and send that to 21,000. That's sports radio to 21000. You can call us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. You can hit us up individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at Ryan_Key. And I am Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. And, folks, a trial saw 61 companies across a variety of sectors in the United Kingdom commit to reducing their working hours for all staff by 20% for 6 months from June of last year. What does that mean? They gave them Fridays off. They're doing 4-day work weeks. The firms had to make sure there were no reduction in wages for their employees. 56 out of the 61 firms that took part said that they plan to continue the 4-day work week, while 18 firms confirmed the policy has become a permanent change. The results revealed a significant drop in the rates of stress and illness among approximately 2,900 staff trying the shorter work week. Around 39% of employees said that they were less stressed compared with the start of the trial, and the number of sick days taken during the trial dropped around 2/3. The results even found that company revenue increased slightly by 1.4% on average over the trial period, and by a much higher 35% when compared to the same 6-month period in 2021. How about that? Breaking news out of the UK. I think that's pretty good. Huh? What do you say? 4-day work week all around?
Bing bong.
I mean, I'm in. 3-day weekend.
Ask your mother for that, Anthony.
Well, here's the deal.
You want Fridays off or Mondays off?
Friday, because my mind has been programmed to Friday. Friday being the gateway to a weekend. Here's the deal. And here's what you run into. In today's day and age, as society evolves or digresses or whatever, however you want to look at it, think about it like this. For the average person's probably working the, quote, 9 to 5, right? You work the 9 to 5, that's 8 hours of your day. And
Anthony.
then you're expected to sleep, 8 hours every night. So that gives you 8 hours of a normal day that you would be able to have for yourself. Well, odds are if you're working a 9 to 5, you're probably up before 9. You have your commute. You got your commute home. Try to make dinner. Try to get the kids put together. All this stuff that takes place. So you wake up early. You scroll on your phone. You take a shower. You get in the car. You go to work to a job that you don't necessarily love. You come home. Odds are there's probably some sort of conversation you don't want to have, whether it's with the tiny human or whether it's with your spouse. right? You just wanted, can I just get 5 minutes of peace and quiet? I saw that the men in this country hide in the bathroom on average 7 hours a year just to get some peace and quiet. They just go in there and turn the fan on and act like you're doing some business. You're just sitting down.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday, Anthony.
What's that?
Women don't understand our ability to sit in silence.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, here. Your partner may not realize that you are comfortable in silence. Right? I mean, I suppose it could go both ways. You know, there could be a woman that just is like, but, you know, the odds are probably pretty slim here. But from our experience, yes. There is a, I don't really need to say anything. I don't really feel like talking. I talk for a living. Sometimes I just don't feel like talking. I don't feel like answering the phone.
I don't want to take work home with me, so I'm not going to talk.
That's a good one. I don't want to take work home with me. That's a positive. I like that. That's a maybe it would be better off for society as a whole, because I think a lot of people are stuck in that wheel. You know, you're going to a job you don't like, you come home, you're getting yelled at by, you know, your spouse, the kids are running around. You just want can I just have a little mental reprieve? I'm all for kids staying in school longer. I make the school day longer. Like, let's educate them. Let them learn. Let them do projects. Let's have more school for the kids. Make the kids go 9 to 5. You know what I mean? That way everybody's on a somewhat similar schedule. But, yeah, I get it.
There would be zero teachers, I promise you, if they had to be at school from 8 to 5:30.
Dude, I mean, is there anything? I can't. I'm not going down that route. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your service. Kids are hellions, depending on where you teach at. But most children are just reckless human beings that are just trying to learn the game of life. They're getting their quote-unquote free trial right now from about the time you're born to roughly 16, 17, 18, somewhere in that range. And that's when your free trial for life is over, right? In the first 7 years of your life are the most important for development, because, you know, like, you're going to learn all these things at home. What kind of citizen are you going to be when you step outside? Are you going to be respectful? Are you going to be a hellion? Are you going to sit on the bread? You know what I mean? Like, all these things, like, yeah, we see this on a regular basis. Yeah, these kids just acting reckless, wilding out, just screaming, hooting, and hollering the whole time, smashing stuff. Like, yeah, you probably need to get slapped across the face real hard. But that's another story for another day. 4-day work week, I'm for it. Because by the time you get through the work week, okay, it's Friday. What are we doing Friday night? You really only get 1 day off. That's Saturday. And odds are you guys probably get sucked into going to apple orchards and farmers markets and doing all this stuff you don't want to do anyways. Can we just, like, sleep in? Is that a problem? Can we just, like, get up and how about you do whatever you want and I'll do whatever I want, and then we'll reconvene here in a few hours? Does that ever work? Does that ever happen?
Usually I'm working on the weekend, so I can get away with I can get out of things.
That's good.
I am going to Akron tomorrow, though.
Akron, baby. He's going to play Firestone. He called
I wish.
70. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Steve in Pennsylvania said 70 there.
I should have golfed, but it was too muddy. Pick, clean, and play, Steve. It's muddy like that. A story from The Athletic we'll dive into as we get. First I got to read it. Even though Freddie says that I can't read. Russell Wilson allegedly asked the Seahawks to fire Pete Carroll and the general manager before the trade to the Broncos, according to sources. What kind of? And then he had one of his teammates say that he's built like built like a sack of potatoes. This is a bad pub here on old Russell Wilson. What's going on out there? All right, we'll step aside when we return. My buddy Joe is going to join us from Outkick. He's always a joy. Did he watch the NBA All-Star game? Is he watching college hoops? I know his Ohio State Buckeyes. They talk about an athletic department in turmoil, right? Don't beat Michigan again for the second year. Don't win the Big Ten again for the second year. Get to the college football playoff. Can't defend Georgia. Get knocked out there. Basketball team has spiraled out of control. I feel bad. I really like Chris Holtman. Doesn't look like it's working out there. I don't know what the issue is. We're going to get into all of that. Plus, it's almost Thursday, folks. The Thursday Night Mowing League will be kicking off here soon as well. So we want to see your yards, or at least Joe does. We'll get into all of that and more here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get a taste of sweet rewards up to $5,000 cash every Friday in February from 7 to 11 p.m. Play for a chance to take home the chocolate bar with prizes from $1,000 premium play all the way up to $5,000 cash. Don't miss Sweet Rewards. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light & Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining us now. You know what? I'm just trying to bring back a tradition. We did a lot of radio together for a lot of years, folks, and he is back on the program. My good friend, Joe Kinsey. Find him on Twitter at Joe Kinsey EXP, covering the world of sports and so much more for Outkick the coverage. Joe, my friend, welcome back to the show, brother. How are you? How's life? How are things? How are the kids?
Bellino, you know what? How great is it that I can get back on the radio on a Friday morning? Just get on here and get people fired up before they go to work. I can't wait. What do you have for me this week?
Oh, I miss those days where we'd be doing this in the studio together and hanging out, maybe a little breakfast afterwards. I have to ask you this, though, prior to. Did your kids have yesterday off? Like, did you guys get a notification that it was going to be a snow day ahead of time? Because yesterday's temperatures, I mean, I know there was an ice storm on, Wednesday, cut a lot of power out. So, okay, if your school didn't have power, I get that. But they canceled school some places yesterday, and I'm driving around. It's 55 and sunny.
No cancellations down here. Bellino, there wasn't even ice down here. You guys up in Michigan, you got all iced in. Jim Harbaugh has to move tree limbs off of roads, and 90% of your counties are without power. Bless your hearts for not having power. Listen, the power's on down here in Ohio. Kids are at school, finishing the week strong.
That's what I like to hear. All right, some of the biggest storylines in the world of sports. I want to first start off with, look, it's been a very long season, Joe, and you know me. If I have the opportunity where I need to get out, reset a little bit, I'm going to find somewhere with some sun and some sand and some drinks and some ocean water, preferably not in this country. Aaron Rodgers decided that he needs to get away, he needs to reset, and he went to solitary confinement in a federal penitentiary, basically. It was scheduled for 4 nights to sit in, I guess, darkness, and they were just going to, slide him food under the door. I don't know. It sounded like a prison sentence, but allegedly he only made it 2 nights?
I don't know how many nights. I thought he was supposed to go 4 nights. But, Bellino, they say that you the first night that you go into this darkness cave that Aaron Rodgers went into, they say that you have to ease into the darkness cave. You can't just go cold turkey and go pitch black right away. You got to have one night where you're just in the cave alone with your thoughts and a little bit of light. And then comes the next day where you have to finally cut the light. You have to commit to the darkness. Aaron Rodgers had to put the towel up against the door and just black that thing out. They have to put the food in a secret door, Bellino. Who knows what he was even eating? He's probably eating some vegan diet, some nasty vegan diet that these weirdos are all on. And he has to go, Bellino, imagine cutting all the light in your house and then trying to get to the bathroom. That's what Aaron Rodgers had to do. He had to go in the pitch black. If I'm in the pitch black, I'm running into something. He's risking his life. He's got a $60 million contract that he's trying to figure out if he wants, and he's on his hands and knees trying to go and take a dump in the toilet, Bellino. I mean, this is ridiculous. What a prima donna. Unbelievable.
I have never in my life heard of anything like this. And then he voluntarily goes to do it. I just don't understand how that's enjoyable at all. If you don't want your phone, just turn your phone off. Why don't you go, go to Sicily, right? You know what I'm saying? Just leave your phone in the hotel room and go eat some good food. Get out of the country where maybe you're not as recognizable, but instead you go to Ashland, Oregon, in the middle of the Pacific Northwest to go hide in a cave somewhere. I don't know. It seems a little suspect to me, but he's a suspect guy. So with all of this nonsense now, offseason after offseason with Aaron Rodgers, in your opinion, does this hurt his credibility? Does this kind of tarnish his legacy of what he's meant to that organization? Considering the fact that, really, if you look at the Lions game at the end of the year this year in Lambeau, he's lost 3 consecutive games that were either in the postseason or for the postseason at home. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Every offseason's a circus. I don't know. I don't think it's a good look.
Definitely not a good look. Bellino, he's even paying to sit in the darkness. Think about that. He paid to go on vacation in the darkness. It looks horrible. The Packers want a divorce. They're tired of him. They're tired of the drama. They're tired of giving him $60 million. They want him out of there. They're not lying, Bellino. They want him gone. So they may just trade him here. I think it's like next week, right? They could trade him. You gotta get moving here. Because you gotta know what you got, right? You gotta start building with Jordan Love.
Wow.
So I mean, listen. This is not a good look. His mind is fried. I don't know what he's doing with his mind. He's on some, drugs that he's taken down in like Costa Rica, down where you go on vacation, and he's a complete mess. And now, I mean, listen, Brett Favre's a mess. Aaron Rodgers is a mess. I mean, what is with these guys that were quarterbacks in Green Bay? I have no idea what the problem is.
It's something in the water. There's too much cheese, right? To back you up a little bit, maybe physically and mentally there. All right, I got to ask you, did you partake in any of that horrific, and you know me, Joe, did you watch? I mean, I turned off the second half of the All-Star game. Did you watch any of the NBA All-Star game? Ratings were just atrocious. The draft took way too long. Saturday night was fine. Festivities were good. Mac McClung winning the dunk contest. Congratulations. Damian Lillard handles business in the three-point shootout. Okay, that's fine. I'm good with all that. The game itself, I thought the Elam ending was going to bring more juice. Boy, that died out fast. I mean, that game is just god-awful.
Bellino, how long have I known you and been doing radio with you?
Roughly
I'm
20
not
years.
You know I'm not watching no All-Star game. Listen, you know the rules. I don't start watching the NBA until the third week of May. That's when you start paying attention to the NBA. I can't pay attention in February, Bellino. I got other things going on, and it ain't the All-Star game. Those days are long gone.
So then what are you filling your time with? Could it be your Ohio State Buckeyes who fell last night? Oh, so sorry to hear about that. That's just terrible. That athletic department just clinging on for dear life right now. It's just all doom and gloom there. They lose to Penn State. You've been taking in more college basketball, getting ready for the month of March that is right around the corner.
Bellino, I don't even watch college basketball for when it's Ohio State on TV. I'm all about football. Listen, this time of year, I'm watching golf. Bellino, I even bought the Masters meal. The Masters meal is for sale.
Whoa. What do you mean the Masters meal?
Yeah, you can buy the concession stand items from the Masters. I've got the chicken salad or whatever it is, the egg salad. I've got the barbecue chips are coming. I've got Masters cups coming. I'm throwing a big Masters party here at the house coming up when the boys get the tournament rolling here in a few weeks. I've been concentrating on upping my March Madness parties, my Masters parties. I'm all about the parties all of a sudden. And listen, $175, Bellino, a Masters meal from their website. I went on, said I got to have a Masters meal. I'm in for one, Bellino.
Did you know that we gave away a trip to the Masters this year?
I did. Listen, I thought for sure you guys wouldn't be giving that away. I thought for sure Michigan would win and get to the national title game. But you have a lucky person going down there, I hear, right?
Yeah, two lucky folks going down there enjoying that, while Michigan fans very, very unlucky there against TCU. What else right now is on the burner here in your world? If you're not reading the screen caps every morning, find them on Twitter, Joe Kinsey EXP, or visit Outkick the coverage, their website, because the screen caps is something you got to dial into each morning.
Listen, Bellino, I'm fascinated by this Alabama basketball player who provides a gun that ends up being in a murder case. Bellino, this is a crazy situation. The guy goes out Wednesday night and has this 41-point game. You love basketball. Would you sit him, Bellino? I would. I wouldn't have had him playing. At least let it simmer down a little bit.
Yeah, this is such a bad look. And you know what? Look, Nate Oates, a lot of local ties with Romulus there. He goes to the MAC. He wins at Buffalo. It's a good story, but there has been a little bit of a stench around Nate Oates. And I think that this is such a bad look, not only for Brandon Miller, who could be a lottery pick, going for a career-high 41, as you mentioned, hit the game-winning shot in the final second of overtime to outlast South Carolina 78-76. But the guy transports the weapon to the gun owner. The gun owner then somehow gives the gun to somebody else who shoots somebody. Terrible look for Alabama. Terrible look for Nate Oates to play him in this contest. I can't imagine why. I mean, I know why they did it, because talent always trumps character, but I think that's a huge miss.
Listen, Bellino, I let you know how I am. I let things simmer down. That's just how I am. One other thing, Bellino, mowing season, everybody that's listening, you already know because I've been on here talking about it for years now. Mowing season is coming up, Bellino. We mow on Thursdays. Opening day, we're looking around St. Patrick's Day. Now, listen, I understand it's Michigan. You guys aren't even thinking about mowing in the middle of March, but we have to have a ceremonial opening day for the Thursday Night Mowing League, Bellino. So set your calendars. Get the mowers lined up, boys. Get the blades sharpened. Get your shoes out. Get ready, Bellino. It's coming. Spring's here. Is there even any snow on the ground around you? I mean, I am ready to go here in Perfectsburg, Ohio.
Thursday Night Mowing League. Take a picture of your yard. Show your work. Send it to Joe Kinsey. Find him on Twitter, Joe Kinsey EXP. Joe, my man, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks for spending some time, man. I'm looking forward to doing this more.
Thanks, Lino.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Do it for the love of money. Saturdays in February, 7 to 11 p.m. Winners choose $3,000 in premium play, $1,500 cash, or 1,500 entries into the February 25th drawing for a Chevy Camaro ZL1. For the love of money, $130,000 giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness. So be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Br0's. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Br0's. BeanGarter.com.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light & Fit, or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Kaye, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino all joining you. You might hear that music in the background. You might be thinking, what in the world? Yes, our next guest, the most interesting man in the world, international man of mystery. And you see him all over your television sets on Bally Sports Detroit for a little the one, the only smooth Johnny Kane. Johnny Kane, welcome back stateside, my friend. How are you even awake right now?
Dude, I'll tell you how. The fact is, I got home last night after the ball game, and I got an ice box that I walked into. 51 degrees right now. I'm lighting my hand by this Yankee candle that's sitting in my living room right now. No power, bud. So it's tough to sleep when you're under those blankets and there's no juice in this house.
Wow, man. First off, hazard pay for you here today. No power, still has a phone that works. That's incredible. Two, we're dealing with the grocery store with no power today as well. So yeah, it's I feel your pain in that regard to some extent. Man, I tell you what, I am vicariously living through you. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but I think it's fantastic. It's fabulous. I mean, Paris, Puerto Rico. What's next? Peru or Panama?
Hey man, listen, you just try to get it in over the All-Star breaks. That's what it is. I was just having a conversation this morning with this aspiring journalist from Central Michigan, and he's like, what are some of the challenges? And I said, well, you can look at them as challenges. I said, but you basically get 2 weeks off a year. MLB All-Star break, NBA All-Star break, and so you decide to do with those what you will. So anyway, I try to sneak it in as much as I can, and then obviously we travel a lot for work, but I'm no different, man. I whenever there aren't any games being played, I'm off the grid somewhere.
I love it, man. I popped on the Instagram. I was like, oh, where's Johnny Kane at today? I was like, oh my God, he's in the jungle. I want to be in the jungle. Somebody take me to the jungle. Come on, come on. Get these teams out of here now. I'm telling you what, everybody's talking about postseason play now, NITs, WNITs, NCAA tournaments. I'm just running my head against the wall. I'm like, I thought we were done March 7th. What happened? Anyways, oh man, the Detroit Pistons, Detroit back in action last night on the road in the Magic Kingdom, taking on the Mickey Mouse Club. They lose to the Magic 108-106. And really, to be honest with you, losing on a last-second shot, that's exactly the kind of loss we want to see. Be competitive. Let's have some fun. Let's make some shots. Let's score 100 points. Let's lose and get ready for that Wembanyama #1 overall pick.
I mean, now there's a guy who has a firm grasp of the big picture, and not everybody does. So, no, you're right, man. I mean, you talk about postseasons for a lot of people are talking postseason. I imagine you're alluding to the Wings also in that too. And, make no illusions. Obviously, there won't be any postseason discussion for the Pistons. But again, this is part of the plan, part of the process. And to your point, I mean, you want to watch competitive basketball. And if you do lose at the very end, which keeps the integrity of your percentages to landing a generational type player like Wemby, then you say, okay, man, nobody likes to lose, but if we lose, we can accept it. And then we'd live to fight another day, which that other day is tomorrow. So it was a battle, man. I mean, they battled last night, but I mean, like you said, tip in at the very end. If it's got to go down a certain way, big picture, it ain't the end of the world.
Hey, Dan, you got to cut that clip right there. We got to send that directly to the NBA offices. They got to get Johnny Kane. They need to be sending this guy a check. The integrity of your percentages, he said. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff in my day. Johnny, that's dressed up pretty nice right there. I mean, that was no $3 dressing right there. I mean, we spent some change on that Armani suit you just put on the word tank. Oh, man, do I love that. Integrity of percentages, folks. All right, how about the integrity of this team? RJ Hampton, are we adding literally every lottery pick from the 2020 draft? Is that what this team is looking at? What is Troy Weaver doing right now, Johnny Kane?
I love it, man. Just acquiring talent right now, and see what sticks. Look, I like it. I think too often, I'll be honest with you, I think too often maybe we watch our teams and, you're not kicking the tires on enough, right? Or on enough different individuals. So, you could look at any roster and say, is this the best we can do? I mean, is this the best that we've got, and are we one piece away? I don't think so. So then you say, okay, well, can this guy help us? Well, we don't know. Let's kick the tires. Let's take a look. So R.J. Hampton would be the next guy who gets an opportunity. James Wiseman, obviously he would be the second newest Piston now. 19 points and over his first 2 games. And last night had 10 boards to go with his 8 points. I mean, here's the guy that was kind of, I wouldn't say left for dead. He wasn't figuring into the rotation in Golden State. And when you join a championship caliber team like that, you're not getting run. He's still a young kid. So Troy did what he had to do to get him over here, and now he's going to get a chance. Same with RJ. Orlando has a nice core. They've got nice pieces, and the guy can play. He just wasn't figuring into what they're trying to do, where they're at, and their growth. So can Hampton help the Pistons? Can he fit into this backcourt? Sure. You got to take a look at it. So now you got 22 games to figure it out. So I like it. Again, I'm in it. So, do I tend to look at things a little more upbeat? Like, hey, I think he can help. I do. So it's like, but what if he doesn't? Well, then he doesn't. But I mean, you get a chance to look at it. So, if his pre-draft evals were what they are, and he's played at the NBA level, and you look at his numbers and what he's averaged over his opportunities in the league, and you say, well, what if we give him an increased role here? Can he help? Well, let's take a look. So that's where guys like Dwayne Casey, and that's why they make the big bucks, because now you get creative and try to bring him into the fold and say, okay, now what can you do for this team? So I'm happy about it. I mean, at this point in the year, you played so many games, you're teetering on 60 games. And you say, okay, well, now what can it look like when we add 2 new pieces or 2 new variables into the equation? What does it look like? So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
And R.J. Hampton was one of those guys who was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. If you don't remember the story, a gentleman by the name of Christian Dawkins, who was an agent later indicted in the NCAA basketball corruption scandal, had expressed that he wanted to pay Hampton in emails that were sent to a business partner. That surfaced. Hampton's father denied ever even meeting Dawkins, and then he had his choices of schools narrowed down, but he opted to jump ship and go overseas and play for the New Zealand Breakers when that was kind of a thing. It was like, oh, are you going to go overseas and play?
Right.
Before the G League pathway sort of opened up for some of these, that Ignite team for some of the really like uber talented, highly touted recruits that they can go get paid immediately and start playing professional basketball right away instead of going the college route. So that's why R.J. Hampton, the name might ring a bell, but he may have fallen on the back burner for basketball fans. But that is kind of a little bit of the backstory of his kind of unorthodox path here to the NBA. And back to this team in this game last night. I mean, Jaden Ivey had another stellar game. I've been a fan since we drafted him. Because he's just such an explosive, talented guard that can. I really thought that once he got out of Purdue's system, no knock to Matt Painter, that's really good college basketball, but he needed that opportunity to flourish and get out there and run a little bit. Have you seen enough development from Jaden Ivey where you feel confident that yes, not only are we impressed with the athleticism, but he's getting it at the professional level?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, so if you say, okay, what are his greatest tools? I mean, so he's in the Rising Stars or the Skills Challenge. You saw that, and it's like his speed. So you can't coach that, and you say, okay, well, that's great. I mean, you can be great. You can be the fastest guy on the floor, but if you're running with your head down and don't see anything and flinging it out of bounds every possession, it's like, okay, well, speed kills. But he has added to that. So he said, well, what's his jump shot look like? Well, last night he had 5 threes. So you're like, okay, well, that part of the game is there. Last night he only had the 4 assists, but he leads all rookies in assists at just under 5 a game. So it's like, okay, well, here's the guy. He's a floor general. He's worked on his jump shot. He as Dwayne Casey says, and this isn't just lip service here, or hyperbole that he's the last guy in the gym. I mean, a lot of times he is. He's a different dude. Like he's like the guy that you want to have on your team because he's so serious all the time. Where you're like, okay, well, man, he really wants to win, and you're like, well, it's a pickup game, and it's like, I know, but it's Jaden, so he's going to want to win, so he's going to be mad if we don't. Like he's that guy. So then when he is on your team, or he's on your favorite team, it's like, okay, I love this guy. So he's constantly trying to get better, and he's still, obviously a young guy in this league. So if his jump shot's there, his speed is, he's the fastest guy in the NBA, and then you say, okay, and he's a facilitator for everybody else, and he's picking on these increased minutes as a rookie, and whatever rookie wall that we thought he may have hit after, 30, 35 games, he has now ascended that wall and now is sprinting on the other side of it. You say, okay, this is our guy. Like this could be, one of our franchise pieces. So I love the kid, man. I really do. He comes from good stock, and He's humble, he's modest, he's a super hard worker, and he keeps adding to his game. So, and he's not shy about shooting. And when he's making, that's a good thing. And last night he was making.
It's a beautiful thing. Do you think that with the NBA, and everybody talks about small ball, right? Everybody wants to be like 6'7" and under. And I'm like, well, I mean, maybe it works if you have Clay and Steph running around and kind of the small ball revolution, and if your team is constructed that way. But not everybody's going to have guys that are, generational type of shooters. And this is a team that, as you mentioned, they added James Wiseman. They have Jalen Duren. They have Beef Stew. At some point, Marvin Bagley's going to play basketball again. So they have 4 front court players, and everyone like on the internet wigs out over the idea, like, what are they doing with all these centers and power forwards? Like, I mean, you have 4 what you think are pretty good front court players. So that means that, like, the front court, in my opinion, for this team should be kind of like squared away. And now it's just working on your small forwards, your shooting guards, your point guards, and how are you going to assemble that talent around them? I'm not afraid to run out there and play a little 3-out, 2-in basketball. I know people think that it died with like the 90s Knicks, but if you got to run 2 bigs out there, if one of them could shoot a 15-footer, I think you might be doing it differently, but not everybody's going to be able to replicate the same recipe that teams like Golden State have.
No, you're exactly right, man. You have to be creative in your thoughts. So, like, you hit it right there. So somebody looked at the way the game was being played in the 90s, and maybe somebody at that point was like, no, here's what it's going to look like, 30 years from now. And you're like, really? Oh, yeah, everybody's going to be, teams are going to be shooting 43s a game. And you're like, really? You're like, oh, yeah. So what does it now look like? I'm not saying 30 years from now, but what does it look like 3 years from now, right? So how can the game change? If you look at the front courts, and when they introduced Wiseman, it's like, well, why'd you go get another young big? And to your point, then Marvin will be back here real soon. It's like, well, okay, well, look at Philly, look at Cleveland, look at Boston, look at Milwaukee. Like, you have to have size. Like, you got to have guys in there that can play. Even Brooklyn to some extent, it's like you have to have front court players to get out of the East. And so you have to have a good front court. You have to have size. You have to have length. You have to have, obviously guys that can shoot it a little bit. You got to be able to stretch the floor a little bit. And obviously Isaiah's shown that. And I think James Wiseman, as you'll see, actually is a better perimeter shooter than more people give him credit for. We just haven't seen it on a high volume. But to your point, yeah, the way that this team can play can be effective, and I don't think we're that far off necessarily. Now, again, you have to see it all at work, and you got to have everybody healthy and actually have these guys spend some time on the floor together. Talk about backcourt. Obviously, Cade needs to be out there playing alongside Jaden Ivey, right? What does that look like, in larger volume? So I think it can work, man. I like the acquisition. Again, acquire the talent and then figure out a way to make it work. All these guys can play. Can they play together? Yes, I think they can. What does that look like? I keep saying that, but what does it look like? Well, we have to see what it looks like, but you've got to go out and acquire the talent. And I think that's what they're doing right now is, again, take away the positions, take away whatever you say. Well, this guy's, we've got 3 guys that are, 6'9", or 3 guys that are 6'10". Like, who cares? It doesn't matter what their length or what their size that you have to pencil into the scorecard. It's like, just put them, assemble these guys, and then let's see what their skill set is. And then, okay, now let's draw something up that makes it work where we can, accentuate what each one of these guys brings.
I see a guy like Isaiah Stewart, Johnny, and I look at him and it's like, okay, if you're going to be 6'8", 6'9", you can't play center in the NBA. You might be able to roll out there a small ball lineup, at times, but that's a matchup you're going to lose. And I love his heart. I love his hustle and his tenacity to get rebounds, and that's how he does it, being undersized. We've seen it before here in Detroit. Ben Wallace was undersized at the center position. Obviously, a little bit different athleticism there. I'd probably favor Ben Wallace, but shooting, I'd favor Isaiah Stewart. So you look at a guy like Beef Stew, it's like you can't ask a guy who's 6'9", to go out there and battle with guys that are 7 foot plus every single night of the week. Like, it's just not going to work, especially if he's playing 30 minutes at that spot. So if you look at Isaiah Stewart and say, okay, this is where he was in year 1, but in years 2 and 3, let's see if he could stretch a little bit, do a little short corner work from 15 feet. Let's see if we can expand his game out to the 3-point line. Don't know if I need to see 5 attempts a night from the long line, but hey, long line, let's steal a little George Blah there. But hey, if that's how they want to do it, to keep him, kind of in that sort of like Draymond Green, but better offensive game, set screens, pick and pop, that's fantastic. Jalen Duren, on the other hand,
I love him for his athleticism. Like, for all this time that we complained about, we don't have anybody that's 7 feet tall. Now we got a bunch of guys that are 6'11" and 7 feet tall, and now we're complaining about it. It's like, dude, we finally got people that can run to the rim and jump.
Exactly. No, you got it, dude. You got it figured out. And again, you have to look at incremental growth, and it doesn't even have to be that incremental, but just look at year to year. And so, to your point, Isaiah Stewart, year one, if you would have said he's hitting 5 threes a night, you'd be like, that's too many. Now, in year 3, actually with this team, you'd be like, well, okay, right? And it may be too many, but it's like, at least you can see it, right? And you've seen the results, and like he's worked on that shot so much. It's like, okay, well, so he can play more of the 4. And James Wiseman probably wound up playing more of the 4. Marvin actually has a decent outside shot, but so you'd put more like Jalen and Marvin are probably more, like straight right at the 5, right? And who knows that maybe 2 years from now we'll look at Jalen Duren and he's taking, 5 threes a night, maybe not. But, the point is, these guys can all play. And again, you can figure out ways to make it work, stretch the floor a little bit, but still have that length that's out there. So I think Stewart is kind of that, I wouldn't say the carbon copy, but Stewart is, to your point, kind of a guy who you say, okay, we'd love everything about him. He is the DNA of this team. We'd love his tenacity, yada, yada, yada. But he is a bit undersized at that particular position. And now, we can keep him on the floor and he can play a lot of minutes because the guy can actually shoot, right? And so I think we'll see that more with James Wiseman moving forward. He would be the guy that rises to, in my mind, of a guy that will follow that same type of path where you could play him on the floor at the same time with Jalen and say, okay, JD, you worry about, you get crazy on the glass here, and we're going to slip James out here for more picking and popping because he does have a good perimeter shot.
Johnny, last one here for you, and I don't know if I'll ask you first if you read the piece recently from James Edwards, the wonderful scribe for The Athletic, on Cade Cunningham and his activity with the team, even though he can't really do a whole lot. I wondered if you read that piece, and if not, maybe you've probably seen it, firsthand. But I thought that was very encouraging how engaged Cade Cunningham still is. To read that, to get that kind of point of view from James, that he's still very much he's on the road trips, he's actively engaged at practice, he cares, he's watching film, taking notes, asking questions. Those are all good signs.
Yeah, no question. And look, we were actually just talking about that article last night. I would say, you don't pick favorites necessarily, but let's say with the teams that you're around, you tend to gravitate towards certain guys because of the way that they are. And so Cade is one of those guys for me, is long story short. So I am around him quite a bit. We were on the road when we were snowed in Dallas for a couple days.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's, his neck of the woods. We went to his we went to his middle school and elementary school, and he made these donations, big checks to both schools to help these kids in need. And anyway, the kind of heartwarming stuff that makes for good news stories and everything. But just being around him and talking about, his path back, the advice he got for putting, when you're putting a rod in your leg, typically you want to make sure you're getting good sound advice on that with the stress fracture and for his career moving forward. I've had a chance to get to know his brother, his dad, his mom. Like he's him, to use what the kids are saying. And it doesn't surprise me that, James highlighted some of what he is about in that article because it means something to him. And so, Troy Weaver says a lot about, hey, we'll get the play, we may get the, what does he say? We may get the player wrong, but we won't get the guy wrong. And now I'm screwing it up. But the point is, it's kind of like think about it at your store. Like if you were going to hire somebody and you're like, well, is he the best worker? You're like, well, he's a good human, so I'm not worried about him stealing from us. Like Cade is that guy where it means something to him. He wants to be playing, so he's going to be around the guys. He understands that this is his team. And so for him to put the work in, even though he's not physically able to be out there and helping this team, it doesn't surprise me. But that really is kind of the way he's wired. Like he's hardwired a little bit differently. So, it doesn't surprise me that James decided to put a little pen to paper on that.
He is Johnny Kane, the most interesting man in the world, an international man of mystery. Find him on Twitter, Johnny Kane TV. Find him tomorrow on your television set at noon as the Pistons take on the Toronto Raptors. Johnny, my friend, as always, partner, thank you so much. I hope your power comes on soon.
Hey, man, you're the best. And say hey to the other hardest working man that I know, Big Dan Cahalan, getting after it. So appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
That's all for us here today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money this week at Meijer. Right now, when you buy 6 select items, you'll save $3, including Prego pasta sauce, Dan & Light & Fit or Oikos Greek yogurt, and Meijer food storage bags. Plus, Coca-Cola or Pepsi products are buy 6, save $3, plus deposit where applicable. And pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com. Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Br0's. They are one of America's top accounting and business firms, and they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of Michigan. If you're a small business, big business, and you're looking for the professionals who can help your business on any tax or business need you have, go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. And we're close to March Madness, so be looking for our huge bracket challenge where you could win big cash, courtesy of Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean-Garter. We'll have more details in the coming weeks. But if you're a business decision maker or owner and you're looking for professionals to help your business, contact Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean-Garter. BeanGarter.com.